Oh, it's lively, it's new, it's a chance to do things like they've never been done before.
Yeah, it's a new vista.
It was the people, and it was just one of those things where you just walk in and it's not the structure, it's the people, and you just know you're home. And also, we had learned, and it had come to us in our previous church, that we needed to find the place where God was working, where God was at work, and that's where we needed to be. And we felt that almost immediately here, that this was where God wanted us to be, and there was so much happening here, and that's...
And the first Sunday I went, I sat on the edge of the row, and a couple came in and saved a seat, and then sat down, and pretty soon the woman leaned over to me, and she said, "Are you saving this seat?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And so she said, "Well, I'll just sit right next to you." And that afternoon I got cookies from someone, and the next day I got bread, and I said, "Okay, God, you've hit me hard enough on my head, and I'm going to attend this church." And it's been the most wonderful church I've ever attended. God is living in this church, and it's just exciting to be here.
It has to be the love of the people. I mean, I've never met a bunch of people that were so caring and so concerned about everybody. It's a very loving group.
Kylie and I came in one Sunday, Dawn was not with me, to check out this for Vacation Bible School. We walked in the front door, and a little girl about Kylie's age ran and threw her arms around her, said welcome, and my heart said, my God, God just welcomed us here. So we found it through them.
Absolutely loving it. I think it's the smartest move we've made in years is finding the right church or the right church home.
It's getting a lot bigger. Whenever we joined, we were meeting in the Village Elementary School cafeteria in our building.
We've got an expanding group, some more youth come in, and just looking forward to things ahead.
Well, this is another exciting time in the life of San Gabriel, another phase of our journey with Christ. It has been amazing to be in this sanctuary, and as I sit looking up at the cross, I remember times when we didn't even have a room, let alone a building to have as our own to worship in and have our classes and our fellowship. What a wonderful year this has been. The challenge that we have, though, is that the mortgage is like this wall right in front of us, and we have always said that the church is not the building, the church is the people, and the church is the mission that God has sent us to do, to accomplish. And right now, I feel like some of our ministries are constrained because they can't let their imaginations go because they know we don't have funds. Literally, worship puts off buying new hymnals, and that's a very practical kind of thing, but it's real, and I'm afraid that this is going on in other ministries. I have heard wonderful ideas that people have. People have talked about an elder adult daycare for those with dementia or Alzheimer's. They talked about a preschool for children. They've talked about all sorts of different activities, some of which might be in another building phase, but others are things that people would like to do right now. But we need to pay some of the debts that we knew we would have, and we have. And we've done wonderfully. This is an amazing building, an amazing accomplishment. But now we need to build a bridge to that future. It's an infrastructure, and the infrastructure is reducing our debt. We have the loan, which all of us are familiar with, for basically what you would call our mortgage. And the payments on that are over $9,000 a month, and then we have a second loan that we took out for some additional projects that some of which are still waiting to be done, like the retention pond. We would love to have funds raised in this bridge to the future that would totally pay off that second loan and possibly pay off, and I'm looking out here at the parking lot because the parking lot is on land that we owe money on. And so it's possible if we can find the funds to donate to the Lord in the next 3 years, that we could pay off that loan for that property, we could pay off the second loan, and then we would have some funds to pay down the principal of our primary mortgage. And we need to do this, folks. But I want to say that some of you have given sacrificially in the past, and you really can't do it right now. There are challenges in the economy, there are challenges in our lives, and please know that God will accomplish this. We are okay. What is important for us is to look spiritually into our hearts and our minds and let the Lord just share with us what it is God calls each of us to do. And for some of us, all we need to be doing right now is praying for the church. For others, we may give what seems maybe to you or to me as a modest sum. Others will give more generously. It is a matter of what the Lord has blessed us with and what the Lord calls us to do. So please don't ever think of this as a guilt trip or as anything anybody wants to pressure us with. I have found personally that when I obey the Lord, it may stretch me, but God will provide, and my faith grows because I recognize it when I give what God calls me to give. So building the bridge to the future will be fun, and I hope you're going to join us for our special worship service on February 17th. And we will be going out to the playground, and I understand that we have the neatest playground around, and that some kids, whether they're grandkids or those living in Sun City or the children in our own congregation, are saying that is the only place they want to play. So it's going to be fun, and that's one of the, we have a cross on the other side of the bridge in our brochures and materials for this campaign, but there are other things that God has planned for us, things like playgrounds and things like perhaps some of the programs that you have dreamed of. So join me, because we're going to build a bridge this year, and I hope that we will all listen to the Lord and then do what we feel called to do, and do it with joy in our hearts, and do it cheerfully. May God bless you and bless this church. Amen.
Actually, I think maybe one of our challenges may be to keep up with their growth. Just like Georgetown is going to have a challenge to keep up with the growth of the city, I think this church is going to be challenged to keep up with the growing congregation and do all the things that God is calling us to do.
Getting younger couples with younger children. My father once said to me that if you're just around old people, you get old. But if you have children around you, you stay young and you stay excited as the children are. And that's what I want for our church, is a lot of young families, so we can see these wonderful children.
I'd like to see us serving this whole area, all of Fountainwood, all of that area, and all of the area over toward the lake. That's what I think we're here for.
Growth. There's going to be tremendous growth here. We've got to keep up with it. We've got to keep everybody happy, and we have to have the support of the congregation. Without the support of the congregation, the church can go nowhere. But there's so many beautiful people here, nothing can stop this church from growing.